Hey guys, EgorXWelcome97 here. Today we're making dino teeth. Here's what you're going to need. Light brown paint, a darker brown paint, a reddish wine color, a golden yellow, and black, and then a gloss of some sort, tacky glue, 3 different paint brushes, Crayola Model Magic, and a paper plate. So first, you're going to get a paper plate so you don't make a mess, and then you're going to get your Model Magic. You're going to pull out a ball, and you're going to kind of thin it out a little bit in your hand. And you're going to want to roll it around to make it thinner. And you'll just go about that and continue to go about that until you get the toothy shape you desire. Then what you're going to have to do is roll it even thinner. And you're going to have to eventually take it off, like rip it off, and then round off the top. I know it's a little hard, but after a few tries, you'll be able to get it. But don't make it that big. Just remember, you're going to rip part of it off. Right there, that's how long you probably want it to be, and then you kind of have to round off the top edge. It's a little tough at first, but you can get it. I believe in you. So, that's rolling it in the hands. That's going to help thin it out a little bit. So once you get your piece, you're going to roll it like that, and you're going to keep on rolling it until it thins out a little bit more. Then you're going to pull it off. You're going to keep thinning it out, but you're going to want to try to round off the edge, kind of like you're going to have to bend it in and reshape it a few times. It's a complicated process, but after doing that, you should end up with teeth shaped like these. Not too big, but not too small. Probably like velociraptor sized teeth, honestly. Like if you're going off the films, it's probably like raptor sized. I made it originally as a Spinosaurus tooth, but it's a little small for a Spinosaur probably, but you know, there you go. You got that. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to squirt out some tacky glue on a plate. Now you're going to coat one half, the top half you're leaving on the plate, with tacky glue on the tooth. Then later, you will flip it over once the tacky glue is dried on the top, and you will do the same thing again. And here we are now, doing the same thing on the other side. Now our next step is you're going to get your yellow paint and your brown paint, and you're going to mix just like a dot of brown in with that yellow, and then you'll get a nice yellow color, and you're going to paint the entire tooth in that yellow color. So here we are, we're going to paint the tooth with the yellow color. Now you're only going to paint half just like you did with the tacky glue so it doesn't stick. Then once you're done with that, you'll flip it over and you will paint the other side yellow. And then your tooth will look something like this. Now our next step is going to be more paint. Now you're going to take the darker of your 2 brown paints and squirt some of it out. Then you're going to squirt just a little bit of black in there, and you're going to mix those 2 colors together. Once you've mixed the 2 together, what you're going to do is you're going to take it, and that yellow tooth, you're going to paint the whole thing with that brown. It doesn't matter how thorough you do it, because it will get painted over later, so don't worry too much about that. So, you've painted them brown. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your lighter brown, or like, you know, tannish color. You're going to take that, and you're going to paint all over the thing to about the bottom of the tooth. You're going to paint to the bottom of the tooth, but you're going to leave the top brown part, like part of the top brown part, blank. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a second. So now you've painted all the way around, but see how we left the brown empty at the top and just regular like it was? That's how we're going to leave it. So now you've painted those, you got to let those dry. The next step is going to involve the yellow paint. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your yellow from earlier and go over the layer of tan with a light coat of yellow. Keyword being light. Don't go too heavy on the yellow. Be careful. Then you're going to take the tan again and you're going to kind of dab it on in spots and then kind of smudge it with the paintbrush. Then once you've done that, you're going to take your darker brown from earlier and a reddish wine color. You are going to mix those two together. And then once you have mixed those two together, you're going to have to take the lighter brown from earlier and squirt 2 or 3 drops in there, and then you're going to mix that in. And then you're going to go to the point that you left brown earlier on the tooth, and you're going to paint all the way over that with this new color of brownish red. Then you're going to let those dry for like 1 or 2 minutes, not super long. Then you're going to take your tan paint again while it's still a little wet, and you're going to start rubbing it on there. And you're going to kind of paint it on there to where it gets mixed together and like blended. That's why you're only letting it dry for a minute. You want it to be kind of blended on there like that. And you can leave a little bit of red at the edge because it looks a little more detailed. Then you're going to take your gloss, Duraclear or whatever, whatever. You could even use Mod Podge or probably another layer of tacky glue. Even though I prefer Duraclear, you can do whatever. And then you're going to take that and you're going to coat it over the teeth. And then once you let that dry, you can pick up your dinosaur teeth, and they should look something like this. So plenty of detail, but not too detailed, because I still have to make it easy enough to replicate. But thanks for checking out the video. I hope you guys try out to make the dinosaur teeth. Thanks for watching. Echo Rex Malcolm 97 out.